Hello friends, welcome to today's session. In this video, we are going to explore an important topic in project management, that is financial metrics in agile projects. We will be focusing especially on something called earned value management, a key method of measuring project performance and progress. Let's begin. Today we will discuss about agile KPIs and project financial health, inverted triangle model for agile and waterfall project management, financial tracking in agile, earned value management, key element of earned value management, cost and schedule variances, key performance metrics. You have probably heard the term earned value management, especially if you come from a traditional project management background. These concepts are often associated with predictive or waterfall model. But nowadays, most organizations are adopting agile methodologies, particularly Scrum. In agile world, we focus more on delivery oriented KPIs like team capacity, velocity, throughput, burn down chart. These indicators are excellent for measuring how efficiently a team is delivering value to the customer. However, they don't always give a complete picture, especially when it comes to financial health of a project. And that's important because project sponsors, senior leadership, and financial departments often care deeply about the financial side of the projects. So, how do we bridge this gap? That's where earned value management comes in. Before we move ahead, let's quickly look at a major difference between traditional and agile project management called inverted triangle model or a triangle of constraint. In traditional project management, the scope is fixed, meaning the project's feature and requirement are set from the start. To meet the scope, time and constant can be adjusted as needed. You can imagine it as a triangle where scope is locked in place while time and cost remain flexible to support it. But in Agile, this triangle is flipped. Here time and cost are fixed and scope become flexible. In Agile, we usually start with a fixed time and budget. That means the sprint duration and team size are predefined and the scope remain flexible. This means we prioritize and deliver the most valuable features first, staying within our cost and time limits. So instead of controlling the scope like in traditional project, in Agile, we control cost and time. Financial tracking in Agile requires a different mindset as compared to traditional project management. Although Agile prioritizes the incremental delivery of value, it's equally important to maintain financial tracking to ensure the project remains within budget and delivers the expected return of investment. We have many approaches for financial tracking of project in Agile. One simple and effective way to track financials in Agile is using burn rate. This just means looking at how much money we are spending each sprint, like salaries, contractor cost, tools, and so on. For example, if we know our team costs $10,000 per sprint, and if we have run 5 sprints, then our burn so far is $50,000. So, it helps us to understand how far we are consuming the budget. Another method is calculating the cost per story point. This helps us estimate future sprint cost and plan the budget more accurately. Say we spent $10,000 in a sprint and delivered 40 story points. That gives us a cost of $250 per story point. So this helps us estimate future sprint cost and plan the budget more accurately. Now, if your stakeholder want deeper financial insight, you can use earned value management in Agile. As we know, earned value management originally comes from a traditional project management. However, with a few adjustments, we can apply it in Agile projects too. And it can be really helpful for tracking project financials, especially when stakeholder or sponsors expect a clear visibility into budget and performance. Let's start by understanding what earned value management really means. Earned value management is a project management technique that integrate scope, schedule, and cost parameters to assess project performance and progress. There is one more term to know: earned value analysis. It simply refers to method we use within EVM to calculate key performance metrics. That means together they can help us to answer critical financial questions like: are we over budget? Are we ahead or behind schedule? How efficiently we are using our resources? Let's now take a deeper look at how we can use earned value management in agile projects. In traditional setup, EVM work by comparing planned work, completed work, and actual cost. The good news is Agile also gives a similar data point at the end of every sprint. So let's look at the key element of EVM and how we can align them with the Agile practices. So first is budget at completion. It shows what the initial budget estimated or set for the project. Next is the planned value. Planned value in Agile is the value of work we plan to complete during the sprint or release at a specific point in time. This is usually based on the story points and estimated effort. Next is earned value. Earned value is the value of work we actually completed during a given period of time. It could be based on the burn rate, the cost per story point, or another suitable approach. Next is actual cost. Actual cost is straightforward. It's the cost we actually spend within a defined time frame. This includes team salaries, tools, or any other project related cost. Now, with the three stated elements: planned value, earned value, and actual cost, we can calculate variances and other powerful performance indicators. Let's calculate the variance using these three elements. First is cost variance. This variance indicates whether the project is on budget, over budget, or under budget. It is the difference between the earned value and actual cost. Now, let's look at how to interpret cost variance. If cost variance equals 0, it means the project is exactly on budget. In other words, we have earned same as what we have spent. If cost variance is greater than 0, the project is under budget. In other words, we have earned more than what we have spent. If cost variance is less than 0, the project is over budget. It means we have spent more than what we have earned. Next is schedule variance. This variance indicates whether the project is on schedule, behind schedule, or ahead of schedule. It is the difference between earned value and planned value. Let's understand how to interpret schedule variance. If schedule variance equals 0, the project is on schedule. This means the amount of value earned or delivered match exactly what was planned for that point in time. If schedule variance is greater than 0, the project is ahead of schedule. In other words, the team has earned or delivered more value than what was originally planned. If schedule variance is less than 0, the project is behind schedule. This indicates that the team has earned or delivered less value than what was planned up to that point. This chart shows all the key parameters and variances in one place. The gray bar represents the budget at completion, the violet bar shows the planned value, green bar represents the earned value, and the orange bar indicates actual cost. Now, if you look closely, the difference between earned value and planned value is the schedule variance, and difference between earned value and actual cost is the cost variance. Let's walk through a simple example to better understand how these variances work. Imagine we have a project with an estimated budget or budget at completion of $100,000. The team's velocity is 40 story point per sprint and cost per story point is $250. Now let's zoom in on a specific point in time, say after 2 sprint or about 2 months. Using the team velocity and cost per story point, we calculate the key elements. Let's say, suppose the team was scheduled to deliver the work valued at $20,000 by this point in the project. This amount represents planned value. Now, let's say the team was supposed to finish 80 story points based on their velocity of 40 story points per sprint. but they only completed 70 story points. If each story point is worth $250, then the earned value is $17,500. Now imagine there were some additional expenses such as third-party tools or external services and so on. So in total, they ended up spending $25,000, and that's our actual cost. Now let's calculate variances. Cost variance is calculated by subtracting actual cost from earned value. So in this case, it's 17,500 minus 25,000, which is equals to negative 7,500. Since the cost variance is negative, it means the project is over budget at this point. In other words, we have spent more money than the value we have earned so far. Now, schedule variance is calculated by subtracting planned value from earned value. Here that is 17,500 minus 20,000, which is equals to negative 2,500. Because the schedule variance is negative, it means the project is behind schedule. In other words, we have delivered less value than we planned. So, as you can see from this example, earned value management gives us a quick and clear picture of how we are doing with both schedule and budget. Now let's use all these key elements to calculate some important performance metrics. Let's talk about Cost Performance Index or CPI. Cost Performance Index helps us to answer the question, are we spending our money efficiently? To calculate it, we divide the earned value by actual cost. Let's understand how to interpret Cost Performance Index. If Cost Performance Index equals 1, it means we are on budget. If Cost Performance Index is greater than 1, it means we are under budget. We are spending less than planned. If Cost Performance Index is less than 1, it means we are over budget. We are spending more than the value we are earning. Now let's go back to our earlier example. Earned value was $17,500 and actual cost was $25,000. So CPI is calculated by dividing 17,500 by 25,000, which gives us 0.7. Since CPI is less than 1, this tells us we are over budget at this point in the project and we are spending more money than the value we have delivered. Now, let's talk about the Schedule Performance Index or SPI. SPI helps us to understand whether we are ahead of schedule, on schedule, or falling behind the schedule. It's calculated by dividing earned value by planned value. Here is how to interpret the results. If Schedule Performance Index is equals to 1, we are right on the schedule. That means we are delivering exactly the amount of value we had planned by this point. If Schedule Performance Index is greater than 1, we are ahead of schedule. That means we have delivered more value than planned by this point. If Schedule Performance Index is less than 1, we are behind schedule. That means we have delivered less value than planned by this point. Now let's go back to our earlier example. Earned value was $17,500 and planned value was $20,000. So SPI is calculated by dividing 17,500 by 20,000, which gives us 0.87. Since SPI is less than 1, it tells us project is behind schedule. In simple terms, we haven't delivered as much value as we originally planned to by this point in the project. Now let's talk about the estimate at completion. Estimate at completion helps us to get how much is the project likely to cost by the time it is finished. It's calculated by dividing budget at completion by Cost Performance Index. If Cost Performance Index is greater than 1, the estimate at completion will be less than the original budget, which means we are under budget. If cost performance index is less than 1, the estimate at completion will be higher than the original budget, meaning we are over budget. Let's go back to same example. If original budget or budget at completion was $100,000 and we already calculated the CPI as 0.7. So estimate at completion EAC is calculated by dividing 100,000 by 0.7, which gives us $142,857. So based on our current performance, we are now expecting the project to cost about $142,857 to complete instead of the original $100,000. That shows we are likely to go over budget unless performance improve. So based on these calculations, we can see the real advantage of using earned value management in Agile. Here, earned value management allows us to track both the value we deliver and our cost management, all without getting in the way of Agile principles. Each sprint naturally becomes a checkpoint to measure the progress and performance. Because Agile delivers value step by step, we can track not only whether we are building the right things, but also if we are staying on budget and on schedule. This approach is especially helpful for leadership and financial teams. They might not focus on velocity or burn down chart, but they definitely care about return on investment and keeping the budget under control. Now, here are a few quick tips for using earned value management effectively in Agile projects. First is keep it simple. Don't make it overly complex. Focus on major milestone or key releases. Use meaningful units. Track progress using story points or business value. Whatever makes the most sense for your team and stakeholders. When communicate with stakeholders, talk in the term they care about. Like with leadership and finance team, talk about budget and performance, not just team velocity. Combining EVM with the Agile KPIs give you a complete picture of your project, covering delivery, progress, and financial performance all in one view. So, to wrap it up, earned value management and Agile don't conflict with each other. In fact, when used the right way, they work really well together. Agile gives us flexibility, adaptability, and fast delivery. Earned value management adds a layer of visibility and accountability when it comes to the budget and performance. Together, they help team to stay on track while also providing the kind of data that leadership and stakeholders need. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video with another exciting topic. Until then, take care. Goodbye.